Horse Girl is a Netflix original film starring the gorgeous, wonderful Alison Brie. Guys, this girl, this girl has quickly become just the most insanely gorgeous, awesome woman to me. I can't get enough of this chick. So when I saw this pop up on somebody's 2020 horror list, I was like, huh? I vaguely remember seeing this, not watching the movie, but seeing it like on Netflix. And back then I wasn't super crazy about Brie Larson. I always want to say that. Alison Brie Larson. I wasn't like super over the moon for Alison Brie. I still thought she was gorgeous. You know, I had watched Glow, and that's really where I like had my first encounter with her. But it wasn't until very recently that I just become kind of crazy obsessed with her. So when I saw that was there and she was in it, I was like, oh yeah, that movie. There's supposed to be horror elements to that? Wow, okay, I'm downloading this shit immediately. Now, one thing I know is that everyone I know, except for one person, I think, didn't like it at all. Or was like super underwhelmed or thought all the talent, because there's a lot of familiar faces in this movie. Like a ton. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit. You know, just one after the other. I'm not even going to try to name them all. There's too many to even remember. But there is one character in here, if not one character in here, that is in The Rental with her from this same year. So, anyway, connections. So, Alison Brie plays this woman who, let's see, how do I talk about this movie? She lives with her friend, and she is very socially awkward. She goes down and visits a horse that she used to own, but she no longer owns, and she's kind of obsessive with this horse and almost torments this young girl who now owns and rides her. She tries to do it in a very pleasant and you know, happy kind of way, because this character in no way is ever trying to be like a villain or villainous in her intentions. Like, she's a very sweet person at heart. She just has an obsession with this horse and wants to come visit, and she thinks it needs to be treated in a very specific way. You know, when she rides this horse, she's like, oh, well, you know, just so you know, he likes it this way or whatever. And you can tell this girl's very, very annoyed with her, but everyone's trying to be nice because she's so nice. And, you know, she really enjoys her job, and she just kind of enjoys her life. She's obsessed with this TV show that I actually thought was Bones at first, but it's not. It's not even the same girl. It's just Robin Tunney, who I haven't seen in a long time from like The Craft and whatnot. She's in it, and for some reason she looked like that chick from Bones. For like a half a second, and that's how the show was kind of playing out. So I was like, she watching Bones? And then I was like, no, wait, that's Robin Tunney, holy shit. But anyways, really what this movie's about, should I just get to it, is about mental illness. I mean, you know, when you put everything else aside, that's what this film really tackles. Now, as far as the horror genre goes, I could see an argument being made for it, but to me, no, I'm not going with horror on this one. I've just had a couple fringe movies lately, so if you watched a few reviews in a row now, you're going to be like, wow, yet again, 3 reviews out of like 5 or 6 that I watched thinking maybe they'd be horror, and I'm not classifying them as horror. But that being said, almost everyone I know didn't like this movie, and to that I have to say I disagree. Now, I should have said up front, and I kind of did, I clearly have an insane bias because of Alison Brie. I could watch the girl do fucking literally anything and I'd probably be entertained. But honestly, that's that's not what it was. I think she gives a great performance here. She is extremely awkward. This is a girl who I genuinely think is arguably the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And somehow she makes herself unappealing because of how fucking crazy she looks in this movie. Like, in her eyes, she gives that crazy look. If you've ever known women like I have that are fucking nuts, and you know that like look in their eyes, that just like that vacant like 1,000-yard stare that some of them get, she like nails that shit in this movie. When they look at you and their eyes are just feverish and alive and big, and you're just like, oh my god, this girl's fucking crazy. This girl's fucking crazy. You know, she kind of has this like romantic entanglement going on in this with this guy, and of course everything's kind of going well until she starts showing her less appealing side. And he even likes how awkward she is, and they're kind of awkward together, and there does seem to be a bond here, and I bought into that. I liked them together. You know, I might have been a little jealous that he was getting to go out with her, but once she started acting the way she does, I don't care if a girl looks like Alison Brie, I don't care if she looks like Gal Gadot, I don't care if she looks like Emma Roberts, fucking whoever you got, the most beautiful woman on earth, Marissa Tomei in her prime, I don't care. She acts like this. There's no way, man. There's no way. She's fucking loony. So, you know, she starts going on, like, as the movie progresses, she starts believing some really wild, crazy shit. I'm not going to say what that stuff is, but she starts getting into some serious conspiracy theory type talk. And another thing that I really liked about this movie, outside of its portrayal of pure fucking, like, schizophrenia, breakdown, you know, psychosis, is the ambiguity of what is actually happening in the film. I feel like the film is left open for your interpretation, which I quite enjoyed. I had a great time with this movie. I thought the portrayal of the insanity from her was great. The awkwardness, you know, the way she kind of navigates around in her life while being awkward, and you know, the friendships that she makes genuinely, and the friendships that she makes kind of on a surface level from the people who are just around her because they have to be, versus the people that need to be around, or want to be around her, should I say. I liked all of that stuff. And you know, also there was one more thing I wanted to talk about here, but I think maybe I lost it. Shit. Regardless, I just, yeah, I really, really enjoyed how all this played out. And I guess, what aren't people liking about this movie? I'm having a kind of a hard time putting my finger on that. Maybe it is the ambiguity. Maybe it's, they feel like things are uneventful, but to me, not at all. This is just someone kind of slowly slipping into madness, and it's fairly sad. Like, it's a very sad thing to watch. Alison Brie does get naked in this movie, so that was a big plus. She seems to get naked in most things, and if I had a body like that, I fucking probably would too. But yeah, I mean, I think everyone's great here. I don't see the issue with this movie. I don't know why it's so hated, or so disliked, or so, like, people are like so blah on it. I thought it was really damn good. Like, so this is a thumbs up for me. But as far as the horror genre goes, towards the end, I could see some of that. I could see, you know, if you took those specific scenes and be like, okay, this is kind of horror-y, I'd be like, okay, I could see that. But the entirety of the film, nah, no. Her life is horror, though. Fuck, man, living with that, like, that mental illness, like she is. Pfft. That's about as horror as it gets. Because as I've said many times in the past, like, one of my biggest fears is losing my mind. Losing control of yourself. It's terrifying. That's just the most terrifying thing I can think of. Losing control of myself. Not being in full control of my actions or my mind. Ugh, that's just dreadful. So, great portrayal here. Don't see the issue. Big recommendation from me. Let me know. Adios.